Okay, welcome back to my survival let's play. Uh in the last episode we built the train station behind me. The banners are a bit bugged because I have updated my game to the latest version with the sulfur cubes. So that's what I'm going to do in today's episode. I haven't done the track behind the actual railway line, but yeah, I'm not sure why the banners are like this, but I know that way's south, and I've been having the same problem with banners on other worlds, so it's probably just an issue with the mod. So yeah, but I want to go out and find the new sulfur caves. So I've been exploring most directions, but that way is the way I have been the least. So I think go that way, see if I can find a geyser from the surface, and then do that. So let me go out and find a sulfur cave. This. I'll probably set up a beacon, because if it also spawns in patches like this, it might be worth digging out. So I do quite like cinnabar. I'm not as big of a fan of... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of the sulfur. Let me quickly make maybe 2 shulkers. Actually, maybe even 3. So, I think you can put the sulfur cubes in buckets. I did see one over. Okay, I'm gonna need to grab a couple of torches. Actually, I'm just gonna put my gamma to max just so you can see. So if I sulfur cube, if I do this, there we go. Are there any more? I mean, actually, let's look at crafting. So, okay, you can craft the potent sulfur. Got polished sulfur. That's probably better than regular sulfur, and it does have walls and as well, and that's quite good because I think walls are probably the item most needed in Minecraft. There's not many wall variants. I'm just gonna get rid of all that. So okay, there's one over there. I might set up another portal to this place. Somewhere, probably in a wall somewhere. Okay, okay, I'll take the diamonds. I mean, a bit of a shock just to see some diamonds just lying about a bit. Actually, no, I don't need to. I need to do some of this. And yeah, so I'll probably put a beacon in a minute. Let's so set up that nether portal just so I can get out easily. Now, where was I digging? Here, I was digging down here. So I want to be on this spike. Actually, do the spikes hurt you if you jump? Okay, so it's not like dripstone in that sense. Let me actually mine back up and grab some things for a beacon. There we go. Might as well just use some diamonds. To power the beacon. I'm gonna probably give haste 2 because I feel like you do mine it pretty quickly. So I think if I have haste 2, I'll mine it instantly. Okay, I've set up a haste 2 beacon. And this, yeah, okay, you can instantly mine. Actually, let me put these on deep slates. Don't need deep slate. Really. And I want to see... I want to probably try and get maybe a shulker box full of cinnabar and sulfur. So, if I go... I'll mine all this out, see how much I can get. Or decent amount of this out. Because this does seem pretty big. Actually, in fact, if you go far enough away, how close do I have to get? Pretty close to get nausea. But yeah, you can actually instantly mine the cinnabar, which I do quite like. Saves it from having to go. Well, seeing as you can't farm it, it's still a bit annoying. Have to go pretty far to get this. So I'll get a couple of shulker boxes. You can see I got storing some of this stuff in here. But it does seem like you can farm all the sulfur if you got a good enough sulfur farm. So let me mine up as much of this as I can, and I'll go back and I'll start a build that I already have in mind with this, because I do quite like the colour. I think it would work really well for a lighthouse build. And the answer is that it's actually pretty blast. I don't know. Might have been the deep slate. Well, no, seemed pretty blast resistant. But yeah, I'll mine as much of this up. Maybe get some more sulfur cubes. And start on a build of a lighthouse. Okay, I'm back at my base now. I managed to get 9 sulfur cubes, a bit of potent sulfur, some sulfur spikes, and interestingly, it tells you what the sulfur cube contains, even when it's in a bucket. So if I grab this one, I didn't actually give it this cinnabar block. It picked it up off the floor, which I didn't know that they could do. But yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to use these sulfur cubes, because I can only really see them being used for mini games like football, something like that, or even golf, if you give it something that makes it go far. But yeah, I mean, considering this is single player, maybe I have something that I can just do. This doesn't seem to do too much, but I know there's I think there's blocks that probably do some stuff to it. Yeah, managed to get a little bit of potent sulfur and sulfur spikes there. Make a farm out of that. You got a shulker box of cinnabar and a shulker box of sulfur, just so I don't have to go back there for a while. I've left my beacon over there and made a nether portal so I can go there whenever I want. But Yeah, I mean, it's got these like dull brown patches in it, and it's not a very vibrant red compared to something else. Like if I look over there, in fact, once I build this, once I build this lighthouse, you'll be able to see just how different of a red it is to certain things. Now the lighthouse will go over there. I think it's just the best place for it. Just gonna leave these shulker boxes in my house. Probably just need 2 stacks of cinnabar for this, because I have all the other materials. I want to add in bits of cinnabar to the build. So it will go here and it will link, it sort of links up my 2 current areas, because it's to help the boats know where to go, with the port being over there, but it's also a viewpoint just in the distance from my base over there. So got all the shulkers for this build, and yeah, I've got other red blocks as well, but yeah, a lot of stone because we're gonna have to do quite a bit of terraforming. But what I like to do is, well, I'll do this after, but I like to go back through and texture myself. So let me go and build this lighthouse. I've finished the lighthouse, and you can see it from where I'm standing. I've elevated it slightly just to make it look nicer. I mean, it's just made of stone. And I mean, there are still some parts that I have to do. Like here, that won't take that long, but more around this side. I've got to fix this, which I might just bring it down. And gotta take some things away, like this is very blunt, this just too sharp. Up close, even up close, the gradients that I used I think work really well, and you can just see the cinnabar in there with the red terracotta and the granite, which I think worked really well. And I tried doing these, having it like embedded into the stone, which is what here is. probably should have lit this up, so let me just grab a torch for what I need. But yeah, I mean this like boulder here, or part of the terraforming, I think just a bit raised up. Now I could have had the entrance here as well, but I think this side just works a bit better with having a path come down this way, maybe wrap round. Though it does also work here. So maybe I can move the entrance. But this is also only actually a block above, because all the spiral, like the red and white bits, are 4 blocks, but that bit's 3. But yeah, if I go into free cam, you can just see the texture, the texturing from the mushroom stem to the diorite. And the diorite's quite a bit, it's actually a lot closer to a light grey than a white, which is why having that every now and again. So yeah, and then having the granite as sort of the same as the diorite, with it being more of a brown. Now brick could have worked better. I think I did try that, but I found the texture for granite is just a bit better, and the colour's not too different. Yeah, I mean up here you can see using crimson just for a bit of shading. A bit more shading there, and probably the same here. And then, yeah, having a domed roof with a little point there. And then use it, that I quite like to go up. I quite like this with the smokers and the spruce slabs just wrapping round as sort of a frame. I really like that. And then just andesite, cobblestone, and a bit of tuff just for a bit of shading. Now I did try, and I do want to try and get a working light into here. Now the black glass may have to go in order to make it work, but if I can get it to work with the black glass, I think that'll be better. And then yeah, just bits of wood, and I actually kept dipping the spruce rails because I just think it looks a little bit nicer. And if I go back down from a distance, you could just see the diorite stairs give it a little bit of a curved shape, as well as the spruce trapdoors. And I think from a distance, it just works really nicely. And then yeah, just different shades from black to a lighter grey. And then yeah, I've only really looked at it from this point, but it works really well. So if I go over to this area called Ridgewood, we can look at it from the pier, or from the harbour, the port. Yeah, that works really well from this angle. I really like how it's embedded in the stone. Obviously that bit needs to be fixed, but yeah, I think having it raised also works much nicer than if it was just flat, because you don't want all your builds just on one level. You don't want to just have a flat bit of land. Elevation also brings builds to life. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Adds quite a bit to the area. It's more almost a middle point to these two parts. But yeah, I think the cinnabar works really well. in this build. Got netherrack there as well. I think it's a very good building block, and I can see it being used in a lot of builds like this. Maybe even for build the terraced houses, which is probably just going to be brick as well. So maybe I could put in some of that type of cinnabar in, because I think if I go back, I might craft up. I don't really want to craft up polishing and the bricks. Now if I go to the, just grab this. You can see it's a much more vibrant red. So I think that's going to be more difficult to get into builds. This is going to be a lot better, I think. But yeah, I mean, how do I even get... Okay, let me try shears. Do I... Okay, a shear out. Let me quickly just grab all the... Now, as this was an update video, I'm also going to talk about my little area and these trees and the upcoming update with the poplar wood and how it's actually going to make these trees nicer. I think I'm actually a lot more excited for that update than this one. I don't really see myself using the blocks too much, other than maybe cinnabar, but it will only be the basic cinnabar block. But I can see myself using the leaves quite a lot. Just put in a couple more trees in this area, just to bring this place a bit more life, like that cherry tree as well. That almost dead tree, which you do see quite actually more often. You sometimes just see trees with no leaves, so a lot of branches in that. Looks quite busy. It's virtually the same as that, just without the branches hanging down. And then this birch tree. I mean, having to use copper and terracotta for the build for a tree. Yes, whilst it looks good, I think, like there. Maybe you probably put a couple blocks in, but the leaves making it all see-through, I think would just work a lot nicer. And then also just this little area of houses. Probably put in maybe 2 more farmers in this area, just empty houses at the moment. But I think this area now, other than maybe putting in a couple more trees, need to put in and all the foliage, I think will be done mostly this island. I want to actually upgrade my storage over here in the hangar. I've just got this basic storage, I just put stuff in. But I think it will be better to extend it, because this bit's an airport or an airfield. I've decided to actually expand this, and then I'll have my storage down in here. I'll probably take this, I don't know how far down, but a decent ways probably. Have to do quite a bit of terraforming over there. But probably make this automatic storage, but I won't do it for every block. I'll probably only do it for like the stones and maybe dirt, sand, gravel, because I want to spread out my storage bits, have it in places where it makes more sense. So, because now, whilst this doesn't make a lot of sense having stone in an airport, I think because it's a bit more of a run down bit, it would make more sense that there's more rubble around. So, yeah. I was thinking the church underneath could have all the valuables. And then we just got library. Don't think I'll do anything there. And I did actually off camera build a general store for this bit. Started laying out some more buildings. This was a freehand build. Now, annoyingly, after I updated, this sign got really scuffed. So, it doesn't really look like it says general store anymore. Now, I need to check if the library still looks fine. And of course, it's raining. But, yeah. I think maybe the next episode I'll do the train station over here, somewhere back here, wherever it's in line with that part. I think it's about down here. And then I'll create the railway line. Probably gonna take a lot of resources, so videos are gonna be spread out a bit more, especially because the World Cup's on and I want to watch as many games as that as possible. So, yeah. I know I said 1 to 2 weeks for videos. It might be whenever I feel like. So, yeah. Also because I procrastinate editing. And I'll try and make shorts probably from every video. I've got a couple shorts I need to make from like the last 4 videos of probably the main build that I decided to do. I'm just trying to think of ways to grow my channel, and I think shorts is probably the best because I get hundreds of views, whilst these longer videos don't get as many. But it doesn't mean I won't stop making these videos, because I really enjoy playing on this world. I think the best thing I can say about playing on one world is think of builds you want to do, like areas. Think of like wanting to make a city or a village, like, and then you'll keep wanting to build on that world. You won't want to restart building. Minecraft has obviously the 2-week phase. Now with friends it can be like that, because you might get bored and you might have your own world, I know that. But building for yourself is probably the best thing I can say, or have something that you want to do in a world. Don't just run about doing nothing. I mean, even if it's something simple, just mining until you can get an idea. Collecting random resources might actually work. Building farms. I mean, for build inspiration, go to other places. You don't just have to stick to Minecraft. I mean, these houses were inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2. And like this washing line, clothes line as well, was just, I always saw little bits out next to the houses. So that's where that inspiration came from. So have something that you take inspiration from. If you enjoy something like football, maybe build a football stadium. So yeah, that's the best advice I can give you if you want to stay dedicated to the world. Because I'm about 2,000 days in this world, and I've still got a mega build that I'm planning. And then maybe another one another idea that I've had. If you got like a film franchise, use that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next one. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe.